Why, hello there. How are you? Hello, you ladies and gentlemen in the TV Wonderland. As Superfly Jimmy Snuka used to say. Thursday. The Thursday show. Oh my goodness. And I hope someone watches. I really do. It is now 4:31, so theoretically we'll do this. I am going to do a song on this, and then we'll see how the rest of the world treats me. This is that baritone ukulele that I ordered to replace the one that I ordered and didn't show up. And then what's really weird is that I ordered this one and I canceled the other one, and I got a refund on the other one, and then the other one arrived, and now I'm at a bit of a quandary. Quandaries are a thing. Oh, let's do this. Move the microphone just a little closer so it's in shot so people know that I am an official professional live streamer. You can tell because of the giant microphone right there. There we go. This is the only thing that I have actually retained from the 7th grade introductory guitar class that I took in junior high school back in North Dallas, 1979 to 1980. True story. Hi, folks. And I figured out where you actually, if I were to play this like a actual tenor ukulele, I would have to put the capo right here. And that eats up an awful lot of real estate, which is why it's just generally a good idea to just have a second ukulele handy. 2 ukuleles for the price of 1. Don't worry, they're durable. And they're not that expensive. Because that's cheap and so am I. I am going to attempt to play Possums in a Trenchcoat on this. The chord shapes are different. The G is easy. The E is actually here instead of way the heck up on the neck. So E, G, A. It's a punk song, so there's really only a few chords involved. If I get the chords wrong, I'll be frank, I won't be surprised. So we'll see what happens here. Possums in a trench coat come to tea, sit right at a table like you and me. Do they want another biscuit? Better give them 3, 'cause they're not really a guy, they're 6 possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat go to town, got themselves an Uber, couldn't flag it down. The driver wouldn't stop, no, he just kept on going, 'cause he didn't want to drive 6 possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat see a show. Do you give them just one seat or the entire front row? Do the possums in the middle just peek out through the buttons? Man, I got so many questions for 6 possums in a trench coat. See, I told you I wasn't gonna be perfect. Let's hit the bridge and see what happens. Bridge! 20 minutes early, couldn't stand to be late. Everything turned out to go much better than expected, cause their date turned out to be 6 possums in a caftan. Possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat. 6 possums in a caftan. Not bad. Any casualties? Did we lose anybody? I don't know. It's hard to tell. Loud, though. But it's because it's a bigger instrument. It's physically larger. What's interesting about this, too, is that the sound holes are all right here instead of in the middle. And that gives it a little bit of character. And it's got this little nice little wood detail here and stuff like that. It's got a tuner on the other side, which means I can actually keep this beast in tune, which is nice. This may come back. I am just as tempted to play another song using that instrument instead of the otter, which is this one. Also, we must recap the aforementioned Possums in a Trench Coat as illustrated by the extremely talented Mel White. We've got Geraldine, we've got Bob or Roberto. Then we've got Sophia, Cameron, Roberto or Bob, and finally George, also known as Hatchback. This was inspired by Cameron, as seen here, who said to me once that they were not in fact a human being, but 3 possums in a trench coat. And if 3 possums in a trench coat is funny, 6 possums in a trench coat is freaking hilarious, and that's where the song came from. So there's that. Yeah, it does sound different from the... I'm not sure which one I like better. If you are listening to this and you have an opinion, do let me a comment, because that proves to me that there's someone out there actually listening and paying attention to this stuff, and it's not just Vox Clamatis in Deserto, a voice crying out in the wilderness. Oh, man. We're going to go traditional on this song. I'm getting more people coming to see this show, either during the broadcast or during the replays, thanks to getting the word out a little bit. I've been one of the better kept secrets in the Ren Fair /geek /nerd /weirdo community, which is a series of Venn diagrams which basically forms a circle. This one is a Rennie tune. It's one of the ones I like a great deal, and it's about it's about drinking. This is the Food and Beverage Show. So this next one is Arky's Toast, which makes extensive use of the F chord, which on this ukulele is easy. On the other ukulele, it's basically the same thing as playing an F on a guitar. And if you play guitar, you know the F chord is one of those chords that no one likes. Just they don't, because you got to like put your finger across this and put that there and put this here. This actually plays a B flat on this ukulele. The F chord on the ukulele is one finger, and it's an F chord, and we're happy, and we like it. This starts in F, by the way. There we go. I love it when I can actually figure out where I'm starting. We'll drink to the downfall of tyrants. We'll drink to Christ the Lord. We'll drink to the 12 apostles who preach his holy word. We'll drink to the saints and martyrs, B flat, in the dismal days of yore. And whenever our glasses are empty, we'll remember once more. And whenever our tankards are empty, we'll remember once more. We'll drink a health to the king, me boys. We'll drink a health to the queen, yeah, both. We'll drink to the royal princes, wherever they are seen. There was one here a minute ago. We'll drink to the dukes and duchesses and all their loyal men. And whenever our tankards are empty, we'll fill them up again. And whenever our tankards are empty, we'll fill them up again. We'll drink a health to the landlord of this glorious harvest feast. We'll raise our glasses high, me boys, to the strength of malt and yeast, yo. We'll drink a health to the landlord and his ale so strong and fine. And we'll hope that he forgets to shout when it comes to closing time. And we'll hope that he forgets to shout when it comes to closing time. And now we'll drink to the ladies. Hi there. We'll drink to all their chums. How you doing? We'll drink to the pleasures that we find when we are in their arms. Family show. We'll hold them very tight, me boys, but we will make it clear. It's goodbye on the day that they do say they will keep us from our beer. It's goodbye on the day that they do say they will keep us from our beer. So far, so good. No casualties. Quiet show. I know, it can be quiet shows. One of the nice things about doing a music act is that even if there's not a lot of people making a lot of noise, as long as you're playing music and someone is amused by it, it counts as an actual performance. And if you're performing and you're enjoying it, but there's no one there to enjoy it with you, that counts as rehearsal. True story. And there we go. Third song is one that my friend Brett proposed back when I lost my mind earlier in the year, I think it was. Pretty sure it was early in the year. And I asked for people to post some song titles for songs that they would like me to write. And this is one of those, and it is Grandpa's Can of War-Ration Spam. And this particular song, it's kind of an interesting one because I got the chorus together and then I wasn't sure how to do the rest of it. I think I'm gonna try doing this one on this thing and we'll see how it works. I just recently got this and the strings have been doing some weird stuff. They will actually, instead of stretching and going loose, they will tighten up. And I'm not sure why. I think it's because I hang it up right over here off camera, and there's an air vent that blows air on it, so you get all this cold air in the air conditioning, because we're still in Texas. There we go. So it's... When Grandpa died, there's just one thing he set aside, to give to me his favorite daughter's boy. And inside that box, wrapped securely in old socks, we found the can of Spam that was his pride and joy. Oh, Grandpa's can of War-Ration Spam kept my grandpa going through the war. And if hunger overtook, he'd just give that can a look to remind him of what he was fighting for. What Grandpa bequeathed was some kind of mystery meat. The secret to the contents dimly did me in. I swore I would not break nor get so desperate I'd partake on that there freaky food that's stuffed inside that tin. Yes, Grandpa's can of War-Ration Spam kept my grandpa going through the war. And if hunger overtook, he'd just give that can a look to remind him of what he was fighting for. Sometimes things got rough, I tell you, times were pretty tough, the kind of troubles that would kill a lesser man. But my grandpa had to read the comp say that things were not so bad, and I'd be darned if I would open up that can. Yes, Grandpa's can of War-Ration Spam kept my grandpa going through the war. And if hunger overtook, he'd just give that can a look to remind him of what he was fighting for. Now, fellas, tell us we're not sure what kind of food that can procure. It could be pork or chicken, beef or even cod. But underneath that tin, no one knows what is trapped within, and we're afraid we might just free an elder god. What lurks in Grandpa's can of War-Ration spam kept my grandpa going through the war. And if hunger overtook, he'd just give that can a look to remind him of what he was fighting for. One more for the Gipper! Grandpa's can of War-Ration spam kept my grandpa going through the war. And if hunger overtook, he'd just give that can a look to remind him of what he was fighting for. That song gets more grandiose as we go, which is weird. Yes, a talisman to ward off hunger. And once again, Tom Bedlam reminds me of one of the most important rules in this live streaming show. When you are performing the song, try not to look at the comments, for you will become distracted. Because not only will you look at the comments and read the comments, you'll react to the comments in the middle of the song, and that just makes your brain fall over and seize up and twitch a lot. Today was a very complicated day in day job. You know, my problem is I need to drink more. In the day job, we had two significant infrastructure systems just fall right over, and we had to fix both of them. And I actually fixed one on my own. It's a big networky thing, and it involves a lot of stuff with Active Directory and Azure AD and single sign-on, and it's kind of complicated. But in a lot of ways, it's pretty simple. And the only reason it seems simple to me, though, is that I've been up to my eyebrows in this mess for over 3 decades now. Yeah, almost 4. It's a darn good thing I have all this performing to fall back on when the computer industry finally collapses after the downturn of civilization. That's what I gotta say here. It's Thursday and it is the last show of the week. And there are some things that have become tradition here at the Tobias the Adequate Troubadork show. Fernando. And therefore, I think it only behooves us, as things with hooves often be, for us to do the last song of the week, a nice, rollicking, sing-along, silly song. One of your favorites, and I hope it'll be one of mine. Eat Birthless Muscles, they're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, there go, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. It's been a couple weeks. Now a sailor came to Bertha's with a problem most severe. His manly pride had been atrophied by a voyage of 14 years. So he ate a plate of mussels. Now he sings in a different key. His jibboom set right, he'll be back there tonight, and he's not going back to sea. Chorus, so eat Birthless Muscles, they're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. Now a lady came to Bertha's who wanted a daughter or son. The doctors had said with a shake of their head that she couldn't have either one. So she ate a plate of mussels and went home to her husband. Dear, hi honey, she tuned up is crude, then to tell you the truth, they had triplets the very next year. So eat Birthless Muscles, there we go, and the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. They will cure your diarrhea, thank God, cure your constipation too. Just swallow a box for the chicken pox, for the measles, for the flu. So if you fancy a healthy life, get your daily dosage straight. A plate a day of Birthless Muscles and you'll live to be 98. So eat Birthless Muscles, yum, they're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. Well, that was almost a complete and total boating accident. And it's kind of interesting because I'm watching the little thing here, which is supposed to tell me how many people are watching this particular live stream, and it went up to 3, and then went back down to 2 again. I'd like to thank both of you for watching the show, because without you here, what I do makes even less sense. It's completely unjustifiable. You know what? I gotta share something with y'all. Merlin, daughter of Angry Papa Squirrel, or child of Angry Papa Squirrel, because Merlin's a they, showed me this picture of a llama. And apparently, some people who go by a particular group name, calling themselves Western chauvinists, went out looking for a fight with people who were protesting fascism, and they brought all their armor and weapons and stuff. And the other folks brought a llama, and that inspired. And this is the beginning only of a song I'm working on, because it's the last day, and I want to give y'all something silly to think about. Because we proves once again that sometimes the best way to fight fire is with marshmallows. Llama of justice, well, llama of justice, llama of truth, llama of justice, protecting our youth. Llama of justice, llama of truth, llama of justice, protecting our youth. Angry man with tiny minds, come to pick a fight. Llama of justice comes to take back the night. Llama of justice, llama of truth, llama of justice, protecting our youth. This also is the E chord is very easy on this one. The A chord is weird, but that's okay. You can do it that way. That's actually a D chord on the other ukulele. But I digress, and I'm sure that they will eventually carve that upon my tombstone. That or to be continued, ... Ponder that for a moment. Well, here we are. Beaten, bruised, bedraggled, but not surrendering. At the end of another Tobias the Adequate Troubadork Show, Non-Commute Show week, I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me once again. Those of you who are catching this on the replays, keep circulating the tapes. Tell your friends about it. Share it out. I got no pride. I'm doing this. I hope I can bring you guys something a little silly to deal with. Silly to brighten your day, because we need that. We're still more or less confined to quarters. The virus has not decided it's over yet, so be careful, okay? Seriously. All right, let's do the little mercenary stuff. First and foremost, of course, we got a tip jar, paypal.com/theadequate, Venmo at theadequate, Eric and Robert and Rick and Emily and Miranda have all tossed a couple of bucks in. Some of them are, in fact, repeat offenders, and I don't understand that. I understand that about as much as I understand people who keep coming back to my magic show when I do that. So, but thank you. The more long-term commitments to supporting adequacy in our lifetime can be found over here at patreon.com/theadequate. Right up there. And I'd like to thank Cascuro and Linda and Ann and Stephen and Rob and Alicia and Relly and BK and Kaylee and Richard and John and Brian and Lorene for being my party on, party down Patreon patron people. Any money that comes to me from any of those sources goes right back into the production value of the show. We actually have a light, and even better, not only do I have a light now, a ring light, so like I'm a real streamer now, I have a switch that I can actually click, dislodging things off my table here. Where is it? It's over here. Here, I'll show you the switch here. I actually now have a switch. Look at this. I can turn the light off and on. It's like we are really trying to do a thing. It's amazing. Frankly, I am amazed. You can find the archives. Ow, my eye! Oh, God, ow. Over here, I'm behind the box now. At Facebook.com and Twitch.tv/TobiasTheAdequate. YouTube.com/MPLEGARE. Working on a new project now, which is called Ask Philo, Thibodeau, Headbecker, Kneecap, Redneck Romancer from northern southeast Texas, which is coming out on Anchor.fm and anywhere that quality podcasts are available. If you've got Spotify, you can look it up as The Adequate Podcast. Those will drop on Friday mornings at about 1 a.m. for no reason whatsoever, and certainly not in accord with any kind of arcane lore, legend, or doctrine. Anyway, that's about it. Thank y'all for hanging out with me once again. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Support your local places. And thank y'all once again for encouraging my behavior. I will see you guys next week.